Welcome to the Top 10 Gardener with Master Gardener Ken Lain. Gardening can be challenging, but with Ken's tips, tricks, and top 10 advice, you'll reap huge rewards. Now welcome your garden host, Ken Lain.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. Deep into the monsoon season. I wonder if I can check this while you all are tuned in. How much rain have I had at the storm? Well, I have had some real gully washers. Oh my goodness. It's like freakish, like scary how much water is coming over. It like swirled around the house and ripped off leaves and kept it. Oh, it's not going to tell me total rainfall. Dang it. Inches of rain. I'm having some problems with my coffee maker because of that last storm. It like fried my coffee maker. Like you get up the next morning after a major storm and there is nothing going on. You have to pull out the old, remember the old like Mr. Coffee type or the old drip filters? Had to pull that one out. Got me through. So now we're shopping for some new espresso coffee makers. We like nice coffee in the morning. And I went down to, where was it? Oh, Quality Maytag off of Miller Valley Road. No, off of Iron Springs Road. Said, oh, they're my appliance folks. They've put our last few remodels in. Said, hey, I'm looking for espresso machines. You got them? Nope. They just have refrigerators, high-end ranges, high-ends. So they sent me to, I won't say we're out in line, but they got me to the right place. They're good people. But before I could leave, they're going, oh, wait a minute. Ken, you're the mountain gardener. Let me ask you a question. Like everywhere I've gone this last week, oh, Ken, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question about, they whip out their phone, picture of, and the trees or the plants are stressed out. And so they're going, oh, this is like, doesn't look normal. There's some yellowing on the plants when normally that's like fall, but it's starting to show fall or autumn colors soon. And so that should be a month and a half away yet. I mean, that's into September, October. You got a ways to go before that happens. So if your plants are showing some stress, some color changes, they're showing some red or yellows, or they're browning, those are all indications of that plant is stressed out and it's yelling, it's screaming for you, going, please help me. And you're in tune enough to actually say, oh, there's something going on there. I should help them. And so that's what this was. And when I came down to the last couple of them, they've been watering, deep soaking. They got through that heat we had like 3-4 weeks ago. We saw a lot of heat stress. They got through all that just fine. And now they're still watering at the same rate. So 1 or 2 times a week, a real deep soak. And then we're getting a rain or two and quadrupling the amount of rain they had normally on that landscape. And the plants were starting to yellow. So if you've got yellow leaves, especially on the inside or towards the bottom of the plant, that's almost always over watering. Now, it could be grubs. It could be some other things. Or we're talking watering. 80% of all issues are from watering. But really, I'd say even more of that is in the monsoon season. It's almost because of over watering. And so really be careful. If you're watering, if you set your system up for everyday water, and then you get some afternoon rains a couple times, you are going to see some stressed out plants. They need to breathe. Plants breathe. They breathe at the root level. They give off oxygen up top, but they need oxygen down below. And if you fill up all those water pockets, all those air molecules, and fill them up with water molecules, all of a sudden it's going, I'm just drowning. And so you get root rot, crown rot. There's all kinds of rot names at the root level. They got several names, but they're all rotting because the plants are just, it's like we were to sit you down in a pool of water. What are your feet going to look like after an hour or two? Now take it a week or two. What are your feet going to look like? It's that for plants. And so throttle back a little bit. Maybe water. And so if you're watering every 3 days, I'm talking trees and shrubs, things that are deep rooted, well established. They should be able to go on their own probably for a week or more. But if you're still watering every day or every couple days, maybe throttle back just a little bit, or gather up all of that water you give it in a week. Just give it to the plant all at once, and then let it dry out for the rest of the few days. That's how you recover from it. Now, we're how do I put this? If plants are stressed out, fertilizer is going to be your friend, a big friend. Now, fertilizer, plant food, is going to help everyone in the fall. That's September, October. Somewhere in there, you should fertilize. Well, we're a month away before that happens. But if you see some coloring or some health issues on those plants, do it early. Do it, it'll green things up. Plants do not want to die. They will do everything in their power to live if you just help them. And the way you help them is you watch the watering and you give them food, especially if they're yellowing. That just, you use that 744 all-purpose plant food, and that's going to juice it and just kind of green it right up. It's got a lot of iron in it. Some sulfur lowers the pH. It plays with the chemistry of the soil. There's a lot going on with that 744 all-purpose plant food. Of course, it's made for here. It's one of us. It's made for our plants at this elevation and this with our water in the county of Yavapai. That's us. And so use that, and that'll really help that plant, especially if they're established. If they're brand new, I just put them in 3 weeks ago. Okay, that's a different thing. That's transplant stress. But the ones I've been seeing people talk to me about, they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and they're starting to yellow. I think that's going to be the water we were using was perfect during that heat a month ago. But now that we were deep into the monsoon season, it's not as good. And so I would say back off some. The other one to watch, your flowers have pushed a lot of flowers. They've been blooming their hearts out. They just want to show off for you. They love to they feel pretty. They act pretty. They want to show off their prettiness. And then they start to fade. And so they just need a little bit of a grooming. So deadhead them and fertilize them again, and they will go back into bloom. So my hydrangeas, so they were just stunning through June. They were pretty through July, and then they kind of faded, and I deadheaded them halfway through July and I fertilized those because I've grown mine in containers under the deck. I got an entertainment area there that's just made for a great big hydrangea. Hydrangeas here in the Southwest at this elevation, in this Central Highlands. Central Highlands I define as Prescott Valley, all the way out to Dewey, Cordis, Spring Valley, all the way down the hill to Camp Verde, Sedona, all the way back up to Paulden, Chino, that big old area. We can grow hydrangeas, but not like they grow them in the Midwest. In the Midwest, they're in the middle of the country. They grow them out in full sun. Not here. Our sun is more intense. They need some shade protection in the middle of the day. If you give that to them, they are stunning. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And so mine have been beautiful, just like you'd want in a magazine, beautiful. And then they started to fade, and they just needed to be groomed. They were pretty, and then they didn't feel so pretty. I cleaned them right back up, kind of fertilized them with some flower power there. Because they're in containers, I have a water-soluble food when you put your watering can. And so you get a scoop per gallon. If you do that, once a week to a hydrangea, after you've deadheaded and cleaned it up, shaped it a little bit, you do that flower power once a week, it will be in bloom again, like glorious again, right back at you. And so you've got plenty of time to encourage more flowers. In fact, now we're starting to see some of the prettiest flowers of the entire year at the garden center. And almost all of them are perennial. That is, you plant them once and they're done. I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, just if you're going to commit, go the perennial route. I mean, they cost just a couple dollars more, but they give you tens of years of enjoyment. I mean, they just come back year after year after year after year. They're just amazing. So my Shasta daisies, I think they're in their third bloom cycles. Yarrows in their second bloom cycle. The salvias, they're in their third bloom cycle. So I just deadhead them, fertilize them. They come right back at you. So if you just clean things up, don't write them off. Just clean. I know they look tired. Just pinch off the dead spent flowers, give them some flower power, and then away they will go. Trees and shrubs, if they're yellow and stressed out, clean them up. And there, I want to use some more heavier duty fertilizers. That 744 granular food is going to play with our monsoons and just going to react and help that plant green up and set all new foliage. You'll never know in 2-3 weeks the plant was stressed out. Okay, we got a lot in store for you, but we got Lisa Lain coming in with your garden questions right after this.
Wondering why the grass is always greener on the other side? Well, it's probably because your neighbor used the all-purpose fertilizer from Water's Garden Center. Monsoon is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to feed your plants. Water's all-purpose fertilizer is the only organic made especially for Arizona mountain soils. Don't buy a bunch of different fertilizer for your flowers, veggies, trees, or grass. This one does it all. The plants on your side will be happier, healthier, well, greener. Safe, natural, organic. Water's Garden Center in Prescott.
You're listening to Garden Master Ken Lain, owner of Water's Garden Center in Prescott. Join his daily podcast for timely garden advice seasonally right for the gardens. Ken can be found throughout the week at Water's Garden Center in Prescott or through his website at top10gardener.com.